Well, today I'm going to be talking about this gizmo right here, and what this is a Freevision VILTA M 3-axis gimbal for smartphones. And that opening sequence you saw to start this video, well, it was shot with my iPhone 8 and this gimbal. And as you can see, it does a really good job of stabilizing your footage. Now, this device was sent to me by the good folks at Freevision, and they wanted me to test it out and share my opinions on it. And this is absolutely not a paid endorsement. I am giving you guys my honest opinion on how this device is going to do. So I've been testing it for about a week, so yeah, let me tell you all about it. Out of the box, the VILTA M comes with a nice carrying case with a strap, a charging cable, a lanyard, and a user manual. And the first thing I did before using the gimbal is I downloaded the free FV Share app, and I went into the app and I updated the firmware and I ran a quick calibration before I did any testing. And I have to say that the app made both of those tasks really, really simple to do. And then the next thing I did was charge it up to 100%, and I've been using it for about a week and I've only knocked off about 35% of the battery. And the battery life is rated at 17 hours. Mounting the phone is really easy. Just pull apart the spring clamp, slide your phone in there, get it centered, and you're done. Balancing is also quick and easy. Loosen off one large thumb screw and just move the balancing arm back and forth till your phone is level, and then tighten up that screw. And there are convenient position markings on the balancing arm, so if you're using different sized phones, it's easy to get things lined up quickly. The controls are very straightforward: on-off button, photo button, joystick, and a trigger on the back. The photo button inside of the app can be used to take a picture, start video, or a double tap will turn on the selfie cam. Now, outside of the app, double tapping that photo button will spin the phone around 180 degrees for selfie mode. There's also a micro USB port on the side for charging, and of course a standard tripod mount on the bottom. The VILTA M feels really solidly built, it feels really good in the hand. I love the grip. The trigger is just in the perfect position for your index finger, which is awesome because it can be used to quickly switch between modes. Now, the default mode, which can be activated with one trigger press, is semi-follow mode. And you get a yellow indicator light, and basically it just frees up the pan axis to move with the handle, and the other axes, they just stay locked. 2 trigger presses brings you into follow mode, and that allows the tilt and the pan to move with the handle, but it leaves the roll axis locked, and that gives you a red indicator light. And 3 trigger presses just puts it back into its default position, just levels it out, and you get a temporary flashing green light. And finally, 4 trigger presses locks all the axes, and basically the phone will maintain its position no matter where you move the handle. It is worth noting that in any of these modes you can use the joystick manually to adjust the pan and the tilt, and that's something I use all the time, and I really, really like it. And speaking of the joystick, it works very accurately, very precisely, and you can really feather your movements without having to go and adjust any sensitivity or speed settings. But if you want to do so, you can go into the FV Share app and you can dial down the sensitivity or dial down the speed of the joystick. And on the software side, the FV Share app is a free download, and it connects quickly and easily to the VILTA M via Bluetooth. And I found it to be really good quality. It's got lots of great features, and it's quite intuitive to use. One of the software features that stood out to me was something called IntelliTrace, and you activate it and you basically just draw a box around some object that you want to track, and then the software will keep that object in the frame for you no matter how you kind of position the gimbal around it. And I found that it worked very, very well, and I could see it being super useful for something like tracking Molly at the dog park. The software has plenty of other features, but there's just too many to go through in any kind of detail. But they include things like motion time-lapse, and it's really cool because there's an auto and a manual feature in the time-lapse. And manually, you can set the time-lapse on quite a unique path to have the camera follow all these movements as it does the time-lapse. There's also slow motion video, there's filters for your photos and video, you can do really big panoramas, and you can even do long exposure. And I played with a bunch of those features, and I thought they worked really well, really well, and I think Freevision has done a good job of the software. So I guess the final question is, how well does it perform? Well, in my testing, and I did a lot of testing, I found the VILTA M to be a very solid performer. Now, 3-axis gimbals are designed to counter your roll, your tilt, and your pan movements to create stable footage. Actions like walking and running, which produce a lot of up and down movement, well, that movement isn't completely and perfectly handled by any 3-axis gimbal. And as you can see in my running test, my arm, the motion of my arm is just massive, just a massive amount of movement. And the VILTA M does a really admirable job of smoothing that out and just dampening it and creating stable footage. Now, I tend to do a lot of shooting holding the gimbal in what's called flashlight mode, or horizontally, not vertically. And that's really useful for getting some really nice tracking shots. And in these tracking shots that I did with the VILTA M, you can see that it's doing a really good job of smoothing out my walking or running movement while just creating these really nice, smooth shots. I tend to use a smartphone gimbal for capturing a lot of slow motion, B-roll shots. And slow motion by its very nature, those shots are just much more stable. But by using a gimbal, you can make them just extra buttery smooth. And as expected, the VILTA M performed very well here. Also, I did a bit of a gimbal comparison between the Freevision VILTA M and the one I currently own, which is the Xientech Smooth Q. On general stability, I found the devices to be pretty close, but I think I would give the edge in performance to the VILTA M. I found it to be just a bit more accurate, a bit smoother, and it really held its position well with little or no drifting. Also, I think Freevision's software offering is much better than Xientech's. So overall, I have to say that I really like the Freevision VILTA M. You know, when I first started using it, I guess I was used to using the Smooth Q, and I was, I wasn't so sure, but the more I used it, the more I liked it. And I just find it to be, it does its job of smoothing out your photos and your videos very well. I find the build quality to be good. It feels good in the hand. It feels very solidly constructed. The controls are intuitive, and the software quality is very good too. So yeah, overall, I really like it, and I wouldn't hesitate to recommend it. Well, there you go, guys. I hope you found this review useful, and as always, thank you so much for watching. Questions and comments are always welcome, and we'll see you in the next one.